So this is going to be my step-by-step guide on how you can set up your life to be the best version of yourself and hopefully make millions in the process. In this video, I'm going to break down 7 key steps that I live by. And the best part, all 7 steps are going to be actionable from today. So get comfy and prepare yourself for potentially the most important video you watch on YouTube today. So firstly, I want to start with some mind-altering steps. This is going to really help us structure the remaining of the 7 steps. So if you could just bear with me and follow along for now. Step 1 is crucial, and it is going to be understanding that the world is a game. Now, you've probably heard of people like Andrew Tate, Luke Belmar, Iman Gadzhi, all talking about how we're stuck in this matrix and how the game is pretty much rigged against us for all of the ultra wealthy to win every single time. Now, for most people, this isn't too obvious to spot. And the reason why these guys are blowing up on social media everywhere is because people are starting to recognize the world for what it really is. For me, since I was young, I've realized that the world is just a game. Most people believe that going to university, getting good grades to then get a job where they then climb the corporate ladder is the only pathway to ultimate success and happiness. Now, don't get me wrong, for some, this life works perfectly for them, but for others, including myself, it just doesn't. You know, why should everything I do during school and university prepare me for a life where I have to work for someone else full time? And why should I also have to follow a curriculum in school that teaches me things that I don't really give a shit about? So for the last decade, with that in mind, I've focused on things that I personally want to do. I've planned a life that I want to live. I've traveled where I want to travel to, and I've learned things that have interested me and bettered me as a man. But this is the key. Here's how you really need to look at life. Life is literally a game. We're just animals floating around on a big rock in the middle of space, fueled by chemicals and electrical signals that are going off in our brain every millisecond. One day we're going to be dead and no one will care about us. So why the fuck would we waste time doing these things that didn't make us happy, or choose to work in a job that literally sucks the life and soul out of us between 9 AM and 5 PM? For me, handing over my hours to someone else for them to then make money from my hours isn't a good life. Now, obviously for some it is, but you do need to shift your mindset, understanding that we're in complete control of what we learn about and where we work every single day. Anyone who can step back and view the world for what it is going to win. You need to be able to break away from the trap and create your own path in life. Now, once you've obviously mastered step 1 and you've realized that we have a limited amount of time to live a good life on this planet, you're going to be ready for step 2. And now it's time to break down any limiting beliefs that you may have. Let's firstly break down what a limiting belief is and where you've likely picked them up from. Now, a limiting belief is a state of mind or belief about yourself that restricts you in some kind of way. In Thailand, they tie elephants to posts to keep them from moving around. They tie them with this like really thin bit of rope around their back leg, and the elephants can obviously snap the rope if they wanted to, but because they grow up and get bigger, believing that this tiny bit of rope holds them back and is unbreakable, they never even bother trying to break it. So if you're wondering where I'm going with this, like literally just like these elephants, most people around us are weighed down by these limiting beliefs that they picked up when they were younger. Once you realize that, you're gonna notice them everywhere, and there's lots of ways we pick up these beliefs throughout our lives. But mainly it's down to how you were raised, your education, and your previous experiences. Now, similar to step 1, this is all about a mindset shift. Before I started making money online, I sat there watching all of these other YouTubers talking about ways that they were making their money. But the key was, I didn't just sit there going, that could never be me, or I don't have them skills, or that's impossible, he must have got lucky. I just tried these ideas. I learned along the way, and I believed that if that YouTuber could do it, then I could do it. No one is superhuman. We're all capable of achieving similar goals, but the truth is most of us don't even bother trying because we're too scared of failure. Our brain wants to avoid danger and failure at all costs, and that's why it puts these limiting beliefs in front of us. It stops us starting anything that could or may result in us failing, which obviously then would cause us pain. So understanding that will literally change your life forever. Hopefully for the rest of this video, you can put all your limiting beliefs aside. Everything that you first knew about yourself ends right here. And it's the only way you're going to win, I can promise you that. So look, that's the mindset stuff out of side. Let's jump into step 3, which is gonna be about education. Personally, I dropped out of school at the age of 16. I really struggled massively in school. Like my grades were terrible. The system just didn't agree with me. I got kicked out a few times. I always found it way easier to learn something watching a YouTube video, for example, compared to reading a book. Over the last several years, there's been a huge amount of education that I've needed to bring into my life in order to move forward with businesses and personal development. Now, education is a huge part of my life now, and I learn in my own way. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to understand that you need to educate yourself in order to get better at something. But for me, education comes in a ton of different formats. So I read multiple books every week. I listen to podcasts from the likes of Alex Hormozi, Ed Mylett, Stephen Bartlett here in the UK. And then I research things that actually genuinely interest me. You know, I watch YouTube videos on certain topics that I need to learn about or I didn't know anything about before. In my experience, all of these things combined have taught me way more than anything I learned at school. And alongside that, you also start to surround yourself with these winning mindsets from the different people that you read about and the people that you're listening to. This alone is a massive game changer, and over time is going to reshift the way that you think. But there is one key thing about this step that you cannot ignore, and that is you can learn, you can read, you can listen as much as you like, but if you don't take that information and actually do something with it, then it's pointless. You know, it's like watching this video. If you're not actually going to listen to me and take action on what I'm saying, then it's pointless watching the video, right? But for me, reading alone has fixed my vocabulary. It's helped me put sentences together when I'm speaking. And it's also given me the opportunity to step away from digital screens every single day. So get off fucking TikTok and go read a book, mate. Okay, the next step is one of my favorites, and this is gonna be step 4. So this step is setting a routine. This is possibly one of the most important steps I can honestly give you, and it's changed my life. And it is gonna be setting a routine. It's something even I've overlooked and taken for granted. So firstly, I'm not gonna start telling you how you need to be jumping into a frozen lake every morning or running a marathon before breakfast, but it's super important to realize how beneficial a structured routine is for you. Let's use an example. So this is Sam. Sam wakes up at 10:30 a.m. He then rolls over and he checks his phone. He then ends up spending 45 minutes doom scrolling on TikTok before he then drags himself out of bed and goes downstairs for his breakfast. Now, during breakfast, Sam watches some YouTube videos, and an hour later, he then goes onto his laptop to start working on his e-commerce brand. He opens up his laptop, he checks his emails, he then spends the next 30 minutes flicking between his emails and his Discord notifications, responding to friends, and responding to pointless emails that don't even matter. Now, at this point, it's already 12:30 in the day, and Sam's done nothing productive. His dopamine levels are sky high from his TikTok and his YouTube binge, and he's struggling to focus on anything that's remotely important. Guys, if Sam's routine sounds like yours, just know there are millions of people out there in the world right now outworking you every single day. So you have a much, much smaller chance at winning. We're in a world right now where dopamine addiction is a real thing. We're basically digital crackheads. With platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all feeding our brains with mini dopamine hits with stupid reels and videos. It's the reason why you're sat there watching TikTok in bed for 2 hours straight. Your brain is addicted to it. And this reflects back to step 1. We're literally animals, and our brains need to be trained out of this routine. We really need structure in our life. And for me, like I said, this is one of the most important keys to success. Most people go through their day-to-day completing shallow tasks that bring no value to their bigger goal or purpose, and you really need to be able to focus to be able to complete deep and important work. You also need to be able to understand how to prioritize and structure your day-to-day tasks. You hear about people doing these crazy morning routines. I've tried most of them, and I realized that you really need to make your own. So what works for someone else probably isn't going to work for you, and that's fine. So the focus here is building a structure that makes sense for you and helps you get deeper work completed. Now, I'm going to give you my morning routine. It usually changes every few months, but right now this is what's working for me. I wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. I leave my phone outside the bedroom the night before, so I'm literally forced to get out of bed to turn off the alarm. I then have a warm shower and switch it to ice cold just at the end, just to wake me up. I'm not going to sit there for 3 minutes at 5 a.m. having a nice cold shower. I then go and make a black coffee and drink a pint of water. I'm then sat at my desk by 5:20 where I journal and I plan my day with 3 tasks that I want to work on for the next 3 to 4 hours. Now, these tasks, they have to bring me value in my business or my life, or they have to make me money. So perhaps that for me is planning YouTube videos or is creating pitches for my agency. After that, I then get started, I put my headphones on and I work deeply for the next 3 to 4 hours. So by the time 9:30 comes around, I've done more meaningful work than most people would do in their average week. The key really is to remove all distractions. I use Chrome extensions that block social media sites. I also leave my phone out of the room the entire time. Like, let's be honest, who the fuck needs to contact me at 5 a.m? There's no one. After that, I then go to the gym, I then do a 1 hour workout, and then try to get some reading in when I do get home, depending on how many calls I have booked that afternoon. I then spend the rest of my day guilt-free jumping on these calls and doing less meaningful work because I've pretty much finished all the important stuff in the morning. Now I then go to bed by 10, 11 p.m, ready for the routine to start all over again the next day. Now I'm someone who needs structure and stability in their life, and this routine does exactly that for me. It's literally changed everything from how I consume and learn to how I run my businesses. The only reason that I wake up at 5 a.m. is so that I have a solid 4 hours of uninterrupted deep work, and I'm up before any other distractions that occur in my day-to-day life are up. So I tend to make myself incredibly hard to reach, and that is by design. I need to focus on what's important every single day, and so do you. But in short, if your routine does sound like Sam's, you either need to fix it and learn how to work deep on meaningful tasks, or you should just get a job and let someone else plan a routine for you. Now, these next 3 steps are so important. So let's move on to step 5, and that is going to be health and fitness. Now, I can almost guarantee that some of you watching this video right now, you eat like shit and you treat your body like shit. You probably prioritize going out with your friends, getting high and drunk, and then the next day you sit there wondering why you feel so unmotivated and your bank account's sat at 0. You're more than likely depressed about how you look and how unfocused you are every single day. And this, my friend, is a vicious cycle that constantly feeds itself until you break it. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that working out and eating good food is gonna make you feel better about yourself. But it goes way deeper than just feeling and looking better. Sticking to a strict gym routine also helps you build discipline in your life. So going to the gym, lifting heavy things isn't something that we naturally want to do. But the fact that we do go and that we do work hard teaches our brain that we don't listen to the negative and limiting beliefs that we have. So for me, going to the gym keeps me in check. It shows me that I can set new habits and do hard things in life, even when I don't feel like doing them. And this then starts to compound and build confidence in yourself. You're gonna need to be able to do this because I promise you, no matter what you end up doing, you're gonna have days where you're tasked with things that you hate or that you just don't want to do. So as long as you trust yourself to do things that are hard and boring and sometimes painful, you'll be able to handle these days no problem at all. Now, it's not just about going to the gym. I also want to talk about the things that we put into our body. So when I was 18, the only thing that I cared about was going out, getting drunk and chasing girls. Now, you know, your boy got his fair share of girls, but that's not the point. This was obviously like super destructive and destructive behavior in general. It was a massive distraction to what actually mattered in my life. For example, how could I ever work if I was always hungover or had brain fog from the weekend before? Now, if you really want to achieve success, you need to be able to cut out the things that you find fun, but are obviously detrimental to your longer term goals. The saying is short-term actions lead to short-term results, and it is so true. So even now, if I drink 3 or 4 beers on a weekday, I feel it the next day. My routine goes out the window and I'm guaranteed to have an unproductive day. This isn't something that I'm really interested in right now, so I avoid it at all costs. And it's not just drinking. Even if you smoke weed every day, just cut it out. You don't need to do it.
Smoke weed every day.
Now, I personally try to go to the gym at least 5 times a week. If I can walk there, I will, and this serves as time for me to think and reflect on tasks that I need to do when I get back to my desk. It also gives you a chance to just breathe some fresh air and get out of your house, so definitely recommend doing that. Now, I've also been massively into gut health recently, and I suggest that you do some research about the gut microbiomes in our stomach and how they affect our moods. So basically, our gut consists of approximately 1 kilo of these little gut bugs, which weighs pretty much the same as the average human brain. These little bugs in our stomach release chemicals that change our mood and health depending on what we feed them. But this topic is for another video completely. But basically what I'm saying is you need to cut out the things slowing you down like drugs and alcohol and start to build healthier habits into your life. If you do that, everything you do will improve. And as long as you understand how your body works, you can start actually optimizing for a better and more successful life too. So guys, next step, this one is huge. This one is going to be social life. Now, this step is closely related to step 5, and it's understanding that you need to make sacrifices in order to move forward. Now, these sacrifices come in different formats. So some will be your daily habits, some will be things that you enjoy doing, some will also be the people that you keep as friends. Now, like I said, this step can be pretty brutal, but it really has to be. You need need to always have your bigger picture of your life in the front of your mind. Now, over the last few years, I've stopped doing things that I loved, like going out all the time, and I've also cut friends off that brought me no value or pushed limiting beliefs onto me. Now, I'm obviously not saying that you need to go out and text all your friends today, that you're moving on and that they should delete your number, but it's important to realize how we work as humans in our social lives. You need to realize that as humans, we're extremely responsive to the people that we surround ourselves with. If I was to hang out with the roadmen of London and Central Sea all day, chances are I'm gonna start acting like a roadman and slowly become more like one as time goes on. And if I started hanging around with the posh boys in Chelsea, chances are I would also become just like them. Now, my point is, you need to realize we are our environment and we are the same as the people we hang around with and spend the most time with. This is my story, this is what I did. I was originally from a small town in the UK called Gravesend, and it is a complete hole. I don't really know of any success stories that have come from that town. Most people I knew growing up still live there, and they still have the same beliefs they had 10 years ago when we all used to hang out. Now, it sounds super brutal, but I cut out the noise, I trimmed the fat, and I removed people from my life that were not on the same trajectory as me. So my current circle is incredibly small, but the key thing is everyone's a winner. Everyone is striving to accomplish something in their life. Everyone is making money and everyone is pushing to be better at business and be a better man. So this motivates me and keeps me in line with my own goals. I don't have people messaging me to go drinking and clubbing every day, as my circle understands the importance of getting important work done. So in short, you should just ditch any friends that are holding you back. Most don't want to see you win, and you need to realize that the sooner you do, the better. But when you drive past their house in a new 2023 matte black Lamborghini Aventador, who gives a fuck what they think? Now we're up to our final step, and this one is perhaps the most important step of all time, and it is going to be, you really need to want to succeed more than anything else. At the end of the day, what is the point of trying if you really don't want this? Now, at the moment, being a successful entrepreneur is seemingly the cool thing to be in 2023, but it probably won't be in a few years' time. It's just not natural for that many people to actually want to be pursuing that and have the long-term goals to carry it out. The thing you need to think about is, are you a sheep that's just following a trend, or is this truly the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life? You need to take a long, hard look at your current goals in life, your habits, to determine whether this is right for you. Are you willing to change your mindset? Are you willing to cut things out that you enjoy and sacrifice everything, possibly even your friends, just to make something work? Now, the truth is, most people aren't prepared to do that. And for me, that is how I know if someone is serious when I start talking to them. It's so easy to see through people that aren't really here for the right reasons. And if your only goal is to make money, buy designer clothes, and drive a nice car, then you're a fucking idiot and you're likely gonna foul. Money itself isn't a strong enough driving factor for people to make major changes in their life and carry on doing them for years and years and years. You really have to be able to get out of bed in the morning knowing that you have 20, 30, 40, 50 failures ahead of you before you make a single penny. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss. They think because people are doing it online, they can win first time, but it's not something a lot of people are prepared to do. They're not ready to foul. But if you are prepared to do that, you are going to win. Persistence really is the key here. You just keep getting better and better. And if you understand it's achievable and you see everything in this world as possible, then you're going to be in a good spot. But guys, if you learned anything from this video today, subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments, what key steps are you missing in your life right now? I hope this video helps someone. Send it to a friend if you think they would benefit from it. My name's Liam. Check the links in the description of this video to join my free Discord. I'll see you in the next one.